Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the Camp Financial stock market update. I'm going to go through the end of last week. I know I missed Thursday as well, but this will get us through July 14th and July 15th of 2016. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to kind of brush past the Thursday and look at what happened on Friday, leading us into this new week. Obviously, we're continuing to push into earnings season here with the Alcoa earnings announcement last week, and we're going to have continued earnings announcements coming up. We had, let me take a look. So we had a few after hours last week on Friday. Let me look, see if there's any big ones that pop out. Not really after markets on Friday, but before the markets today, you've got Bank of America, Charles Schwab, Hasbro, J.B. Hunt, the trucking company, Lennox International, Cal-Maine Foods, and PetMed Express, as well as one I skipped over, but First Niagara, one of the regional banks in the Mid-Atlantic region. So you've got at least those 8. They'll be announcing earnings this morning. I'm going to take a quick look, actually, before we get going in here with Bank of America to see. Nothing yet announced. So I believe their announcement might be like 8:30 in the morning. But that'll be one to take a look at. Obviously, they're one of the big main banks. Between them and Charles Schwab, you should get a pretty good feel for what is going on in the financial market. The retirement group, Charles Schwab, is kind of the industry leader in the registered investment advisor space. And obviously Bank of America is one of the big 4 or 5 biggest banks out there. So alright, with that said, let's go back to services on Friday. Looks to be hit pretty heavily. Utilities again had a decent day. Looks like industrials had a decent day, and looks like the main part of healthcare struggled. That's the drug manufacturers, healthcare plans, those sorts of things. But biotechs performed quite well. Biogen up 3% on Friday. Gilead Sciences up 1.3%. Celgene up 1.4%, and Regeneron, and I believe the other one is Vertex. Yeah, Vertex Pharmaceuticals both up 2.34%. So biotech performed well within the healthcare sector. Most of the rest of the healthcare not so well, and the service, like I said, was mostly red on Friday. So let's go take a look at the screener here. Pull up the S&P 500, and let's look at who the laggards were on Friday in the S&P 500. S&P 500 laggards from Friday. We've got Fossil Group, the watchmaker, down 6.55%. CVS down 3.61%. Chipotle down 3.14%. Wells Fargo down 2.5%. And Discovery Communications down. Whoops, clicked on an ad here. Discovery Communications down 2.4%. Let me take a look at Fossil. My guess is we might have had an earnings report on Fossil last week. Let's see what we got. So July 15th. No, so Fossil just closed down on a competitor's warning. So let's take a look. I'm going to pull that note up real quick, and while that's pulling up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the top performers. I'm looking through the rest of the bottom 20, and I don't really see, like I said, services were pretty heavy in the bottom 20, but there's really no other main driver, it looks like, in the in this bottom 20. So let's go look at the top 20. I'll give you the top 5 from Friday, see who did well. So actually, while that's pulling up, so Fossil was down 6.5% after Swatch Group CEO criticized the U.S. watch market. So Swatch, the Swiss watchmaker, reported preliminary results that included a 12% decline in sales and a 50% drop in earnings. It says that shortfall might be noted to Hong Kong and parts of Europe. They're all kind of looking at a down first half of the year. And some of that might also be people just aren't wearing a watch anymore, right? So one of the other guys in the market that I listen to a lot, he's been talking about this for quite some time, right? People don't wear a watch because they carry their cell phones now. They just they check the time on their phones, and for the most part, watches have kind of gone by the wayside. So that, I would say, would be something to think about. You know, if you're looking at buying maybe Fossil watch, I'd do some more research to see just exactly what's going on there, because I would tend to agree with that. And you know, most of the watches then that are being purchased now, it still seems like, you know, most people don't. You know, Apple put out the iWatch and it really wasn't a big boom like they expected, but I do think that the smart watches are starting to kind of get a footing, and that's going to be, you know, probably the market of the future, just like, you know, Fitbits and those sort of things. All those wrist wearables that are going to give you medical and technical information about your sleep, about your exercise, etc. You know, those are the way of the market right now. You know, that may change in the future, but that's where the market's going right now. All right, let's take a look at the top 5. So the top 5 in the S&P 500: WestRock Company and International Paper Company. They're both package and container consumer goods companies. Biogen was 3rd, Hershey 4th, and Regeneron 5th. Regeneron, like I said, you know, before them, Vertex Pharmaceuticals both up 2.34, Hershey up 2.38, Biogen up 2.94, and International Paper 3.22, and WestRock up 5.72%. Let's see if there's I don't see any news that came out on WestRock. So let me take a look at International Paper and see if the WestRock one might have just been as a nothing really out on International Paper either, other than July 14th they did announce a quarterly dividend of 44 cents a share. Actually, that came out on, it's like July 12th might have been the day that came out, but that is a, you know, kind of a defensive industry, and people are definitely still going to use those if the markets turn against them. So let's take a look at the Dow. Bottom performers in the Dow: Nike down 1%, Goldman Sachs down 0.55%, Pfizer down 0.4%, Intel down 0.37%, and IBM down 0.31%. There were, it's like 14 or 15. Give me a second here. there were 14 stocks that were down, but not much in the Dow Jones. So 15 were up, 1 was flat, and 14 down. So still a leading day for the Dow Jones. Let's take a look at who performed well on Friday. So the top performer in the Dow on Friday was Caterpillar. In full disclosure, I do own shares in Caterpillar, and the second highest performer was GE, and I also have shares in GE. Also in the top 5, Boeing, DuPont, and United Health Group. So yeah, there's a healthcare plan that actually did still go up on Friday, even in the face of most of the healthcare stocks going down. So that could be, a good sign, something to look at. Obviously, people see the strength of United Healthcare in that industry. So, all right, that pretty much runs us through that. And I don't have my portfolio up because there was a few of them in my portfolio that I wanted to discuss. But I guess I do want to say, I've been doing a lot of research this weekend on a new company that I'm looking at, that I'm putting together a write-up on. It's 2-3 page Word doc that I'll put out on my website. That'll help kind of give you an idea of this company, what I'm looking at in this company, and why I think there's a potential there for them to pop back up and maybe even go beyond their 52-week high, go to all-time highs, and really have pretty good downside protection as well. So, like I said, I'll be out with that report hopefully tonight. I'll get it posted on the website, and I'll talk about it a little more in detail going on further this week. So that's it for today, guys. Take care. Let me know if you have any questions. Send me an email, chrism@campfinancial.net. You can leave me a note here on the YouTube video, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. If you got a stock you want me to take a look at, I like to do the research and see what I think, and then maybe you can kind of compare notes and see if you think the stock's going to do the same thing that I do. So that's it, guys, and take care.